it's going to work. Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on the Supernatural Show. This is a show that is not for entertainment purposes only. Today we have a very, whatever you want to call it, kind of subject of where we're going to talk about a little bit about, we're going to talk about a pending planned demonic that I can see lots of signs that are lining up to say that they're planning for this to happen sometime starting next year. Maybe not initially, but once Mr. T is in office at some point during next year, because Mr. T's got all these things he's got to do to make the country great again. But if we had another planned demonic, he wouldn't be able to do those things. And of course, everybody'd be fighting with the planned demonic and trying to figure out what to do or what not to do. And in most cases, the best plan of action when it comes to us is to do nothing. Don't do anything or allow them to influence you one way or another to do anything would be the best advice I can give y'all guys right off the get-go. Now, let me introduce real quick my co-host, Shannon. She's here with us again today. And thank you for being here, Shannon.
You're so very welcome. Lovely to see you guys, even though I can't see you, you see me. Hi. Yeah, today's topic is going to be quite eye-opening. It's a good way to put it. But I just want to say, the one amazing gift that we've been given here on this earth is choice, and making an informed choice, an informed decision is very important. So that being said, let's get to it.
And I would say they're going to make it more difficult this next time for you to not participate in whatever it is that they're going to want you to do. They're going to make it more confusing, more chaos, and they're going to threaten you even worse. But you have to understand there's more at risk than just your life here. Okay? If we're going to go, we want to go standing in truth. We don't want to go because we got manipulated into doing something that ended up expiring us or zombieing us or any of those things like that. So I'm going to be continuing to do this work and guide everybody as best as I possibly can. But even with my words, you need to hesitate and really think in depth about what you're doing and what choice you're making, because I am a man and I can be deceived. Father has given me great eyes where I can see what's going on, and like Miss Kim says, it's like you can see the future. And well, let's just get going here and show you what we're talking about. Um, Overall, what we're talking about is, this gives you an example. This was come out on November 20th. That's what, yesterday, day before yesterday. And it's talking about a mysterious new killer disease similar to mad cow disease. And it's killing people in Canada. Okay. And there's a lot of talk about all types of mental health things that are going on. Here's one that's talking about never before seen virus that causes malaria-like illnesses already circulating. Okay. And they've been talking about this kind of stuff for quite a while. And they've been pushing it on soap operas, talking about mental health. Not that I watch soap operas, but I do walk by television sometimes, and I can't help but hear the propaganda, the predictive programming that they're doing. What we're going to do in just go ahead, Shannon.
I was going to say, speaking of predictive programming, going on to, I know we've probably mentioned this once before or twice way back when, but the whole 12 Monkeys movie and the whole concept, and I do find it quite fascinating that there was the monkey escape in that test facility, and it's just
I remember that, but what ended up being kind of what went down in that movie?
In the movie, these people who were animal rights activists, they end up releasing all these monkeys from a test facility, which they have this virus in them. That's what they, were testing on. Okay. And this ends up creating a, worldwide pandemic. A lot of people die, and Bruce Willis in the future.
Shannon.
Oh yeah.
You got to code your words, darling.
Sorry, this is the movie. I'm just talking about the movie. 12 Monkeys. It's out there for everyone to see. But
yeah, but we still, because we're activating the algorithm, when you're saying the V word or the P word, and so you just got to change it, like playing demonic, that kind of thing. So we're not talking about anything.
I apologize for that.
Sorry about that, Shannon, but I have
to that's my bad.
Blow off the air live. I wouldn't want that to happen.
Right.
So what kind of symptoms did people end up having?
I can't remember, but it was pretty gnarly. But I can't remember the symptoms. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
yeah.
It's just the point of the monkeys being released.
What we're going to do, what we're looking at right here is the Wayback Machine, which records web pages, and keeps them there so you can go back and look at them 5-10 years later as to what the website said. We're looking at Deagle.com. I know many of you, if not all of you, are familiar with Deagle.com, or at least familiar with what it said some years ago. Now, I'm going to show you one of these here in a second, and then I'm going to show you a video. It's a video that just is showing you some of the predictive programming they're putting out in the form of commercials about mental illness. And and we all know there's always been some crazy people, but there's a purpose for what you're doing. And we're going to be talking about it in the show, coding our words, so as that way we're like Christ was, and that's the reason why Christ spoke the way he spoke, so that the enemy would not understand what he was saying. Only his followers would know. And so that's how we're going to talk. So let's look at the United States, and then we'll watch that video. Now, this is from 2014, okay? Yeah, 2014 right here. The year is 2014. And I know it's a little small if you're on a cell phone, but if you can get it on a big screen, you can see it. But it said in 2014, the population was 319 million. And it gives you a bunch of other statistics, blah, blah, blah. But if you come down just a little ways right here, it gives you a population forecast for 2025. 2025, the United States is supposed to lose 65 million people in a year. Okay. So we're going to go from the number 3 ranked country in the world based on population, and we're going to drop to number 18. So what that means is that there are some countries that are not being predicted to drop in population. So we're going to take a look at those. But first, what we're going to do, we're going to look at that, and I've got a bunch of other slides for us to look at and all kind of stuff. This show's going to be pretty much loaded. So, oh, and also when we come back, we're going to be talking about, let me go over here. Yeah, right here. This right here, this came from Casey on Enter the Stars, from the Enter the Stars channel. If you're not familiar with him, highly recommend you going and subscribing. This is it says sporadic Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease after receiving second, as Casey would say, sticker. Basically after receiving a second snake bite from the CV. And they're saying that they're admitting here that they got the second one and then they come down with zombie disease. Okay. That's what they're talking about here. And here's another report talking about it. And it is fatal. And here's another report talking about it as well. So we're going to be jumping into that as well when we come back. But first, we're going to look at some of these countries, remind ourselves about what Deagle.com said, and then we're going to go through it all right after this. This is about 4 minutes long, I think, something like that. So let's take a watch at this.
This feels weird. Why is he staring at me? Look down. Look down.
Over 500,000 people in the UK are severely affected by mental illness. But it's not just what's going on in their minds that makes life hard.
It's what's going on in ours.
Let's rethink mental illness. Download your free guide. Search Let's Rethink.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Daddy.
I'm so sorry. It's not good news.
What do you say? What's the baby?
Suspected suicide, 17 St. Edwards.
Looks like she works at the hospital. In July 2005, I had a family member who had been suffering with mental health for many years. He asked for help, but the clinic couldn't see him until the following week. The next morning, he suffered an extreme episode. There was a knife, and at the end of the altercation, we lost 2 family members that didn't need to die. I experienced firsthand the horrific impact that the lack of available mental health care can have on a family.
In my 30 years of practice, I've seen the really tough side of the mental health crisis. People get stabilized in the hospital, we discharge them home, and then they have difficulty because they don't have enough providers in the community that can treat them and keep them stable.
Roughly 54 million American adults live with a mental illness.
I believe it's Revelations. Revelations used to be Revelation. Now somehow it's Revelations.
I
That's
think
a whole nother show.
it was the opposite. It was Revelations. Now they say it's Revelation.
Oh, it's the opposite. Is that what it is? Okay, one of those two. Let me pull this up, something real quick. I think it was Revelation 9:11. Should come right up on my screen. Yep. This is 9:11. No, excuse me. It's 9:6. And in those days shall men seek death and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee to them. But it also says that this period, they will be tormented for 5 months. Okay. And it says the torment was like the torment of a scorpion when he strike a man. And of course, we know a scorpion has a stinger. It has a needle in its tail, in which is how it injects its venom. And so there's that. Now let's get back to Deagle, and let's take a look again. Again, the United States on Deagle back in 2014 said there were 319 million U.S. population, ranked number 3 in the world. And then its forecast for 2025, interesting that it chose 2025 for its forecast for, but we're there, folks. We're here. I mean, real close. And they say that we dropped from number 3 in the world population-wise down to 18, with a loss of 65 million people. Now, how this cannot be a mistake. For one, it's not the only country that is like that. For instance, Canada, okay, which they're already seeing the zombie disease happening up there as recently as 2 days ago. Articles coming out about it. Says they have 35 million, ranked number 36, and they're going to lose 25 million and go down to number 44. So Canada is apparently, according to these statistics, on the chopping block. Now, if we look at Brazil, Brazil is said to have 203 million in 2014. And by 2025, it's going to go up to 218 million. So they're not losing, they're gaining. And it was interesting. Shannon said they were a member of BRICS. what are the main countries that are members of BRICS? I think that Britain, Russia.
No, not Britain, but Russia, India, China.
Well, that can't be the correlation because, of course, we have India right here. And India in 2014 said it had a 1.2 billion, number 2 in population in the world. And they are forecasted to go to 1.4 billion and stay number 2 in the world. And United Kingdom, 2014, 64 million, ranked number 22, says they're going to lose 23 million people by 2025 or in 2025 and go down, lose 23 million and drop to 50th from 22nd.
Sorry. Oh, shoot.
Japan in 2014 was 127 million, ranked number 10, and they say they're going to lose 47 million people and drop to 22 from number 10. Let's see, in China, which we all know is basically the most populous place in the world, says they have 1.4 in 2014. They're number 1 ranked in the world as far as population. Says they're going to drop, it's going to go up on some, but still be at 1.4 million and stay the same. So China is not losing. Brazil's not losing. But I'm sure we could go with this list. I'm going to take this link, because I know y'all guys want it, straight to the chart, and all you got to do is click on whatever country you want to see. I'm going to drop it in the comments. There it goes for y'all guys, because if you go there just trying to find this, you might have a hard time, but I got fairly lucky looking it back up. So, I mean, you could take a look at any country you want. Like, let's look at Saudi Arabia real quick. See what they're saying about the oil people.
What's interesting is they're having one of the most elaborate high-tech smart cities being built in. I can't remember what they call it, but it looks like a big giant wall.
Yeah. And then there's more plans that came out for another thing that was like that. This one says 27 million, ranked 45, and they're going to go to 24 million and still be ranked 45. So not much, so much. 3 million people's a lot, but it ain't 3/4 of your population like the United States is being projected. Let's look at, let's see, United Emirates. Let's look at them. All right. They're 5.6 million, ranked at 110th position as far as population, saying they're going to drop 2.5 million, so about half their population, and drop to 132 position from 110. Now, obviously, we have no for sure knowledge that these statistics mean anything, because you'd be looking at, what was it that we looked at there a while ago, and it gave us an indication of the overall drop in the entire world. Okay, right here. Population forecast for the entire world is supposed to drop 6.7 billion. So that's a lot of people. It's supposed to go down 6.7 billion. But again, put it like this. It says with 7.1 billion in 2014, there are 53 inhabitants, meaning 53 people for every square kilometer. It's going to drop by 49 of those people. So where there were 53 people, there will now only be 4 in most countries. So that's like going into the grocery store and there's 50 people in it, like a Walmart. And then when this happens, you go in and there's 4. And that's as busy as they get. That kind of thing. And guys, I want to remind everybody, this is a spiritual war. A war of the unseen. How are they going to come after us? They're coming after us with invisible weapons. Like I said on Monday's show, you fight invisible weapons with invisible things. Your voice is an invisible thing. It can't be seen. It can't be touched. And your voice and the word of God is how you're going to fight whatever portion of any of this we have to deal with. Because 2025 is about 40 some days away. And I've been saying for years, a decade, that this kind of event was going to come down. They've been programming us with the concept of zombies now, going all the way back
since the 60s.
Well, let's run a Google search of when the first zombie movie was.
I'm pretty sure here in America it was in the 60s. It was Day of the Dead or Dawn of the Dead or
right,
something like that. In Italy, though, I think actually around the same time it became a big deal. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but I'm pretty sure the 60s is when it really started to get in your face.
Yeah, probably. In 1932, there was a movie that came out. It says the first movie was generally considered to be White Zombie. Okay, and it had some kind of a Dracula connotation to it. Kind of like the other day, Prince Harry had I am tattooed on his neck.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks to Casey for showing that too as well. And so there's this Dracula thing because they had a needle to his neck tattooing I am, meaning like I am a god. And here's a couple others. I Walked with a Zombie in 1943. Night of the Living Dead in 1968.
Yeah, and that's when it exploded. That's when there was like movie after movie after movie that just kept coming out. Now we have shows, we have everything.
And what they do when they show you these things is they're showing the predictive programming. They're showing you the future. It's the same way with the Alien movies. The third movie ever made, it was black and white and silent, was an Alien movie. It was called Aliens on the Moon or something like that. It was the third movie ever made, and they're already pushing aliens.
Mm-hmm.
How many zombie movies
and shows, and let's not even forget music videos. Thriller,
really
Jackson,
have been made? Let's just look at it like that, and we know it's much more. Let's see. There are many zombie movies, including the zombie franchise, the 28 Days Later series, and other zombie films. And we know Netflix is covered in them, you know. Dawn of the Dead in 1978. Let's see if it gives us, a list of zombie films. I'll take a peek at that. And trust me, I don't want this to come true. You understand? I do these kind of warnings and shows telling you the future, but it doesn't mean I like it. I mean, if I was to change my whole format of the kind of shows I do, I would get a lot more viewers. I'd make a lot of money. I have the ability to do that, but I would have to sell out. It's most of the things I do actually really hurt my viewership because I speak the truth. I don't like any politicians. I speak out about these things, and it all works against me and makes it harder for me and my family and this show and everything I do. But I can't sell out. I hope you understand. I don't like showing you this stuff's coming at all. All right, so here's our list. So this is more recent, and going back through time, these are all zombie related movies. And of course, this is just movies. This isn't television shows, series, and comic books and music videos or any other type of media. This is just that. And as you can see, there's a ton. How long is the list? Great Lord.
It is absolutely insane how much media.
How much effort has been put into this? Why?
Right.
Why has there been so much effort in this particular genre of media, zombies? I can tell you why, but you don't like the truth, and I don't like the truth. And I've already told you why it is. It's because they have a day and a plan that they're going to release this on mankind. But they do have to tell us and let us know that they're planning on doing this. And, well, they've shown us in a good zillion movies here, apparently. And they've also told us in many other ways. Like just the fact that these articles that I pulled up, like about this, they're admitting it, that this is going on. Okay. They're telling you it's in the deer, it's in the elk, it's in all kinds of things that, of course, is going to make it much harder for those that are here, assuming whoever's here throughout this period. Okay, so that's the list, which is a lot. And then there's video games. From what I understand, pretty much about every video game out there has a zombie mode. Let's see what
all the shooter ones do. I do know that.
So this is a list of video games, I guess, that have this, and it's a big list. I can see already it's a huge list. Let me just use the slider over here. Okay, you can see. That's what I'm showing. They're putting it everywhere. Then I'm telling you there's a reason. And the reason is just what I'm telling you and warning you about. But I'm also trying to give you the tools to be able to deal with this. Because these people will be dead. They will no longer have the spark of God in them, the spirit that will have left them by the time that it gets as bad as it's going to get.
If you skim through YouTube, Rumble, any of these places, TikTok, you will find testimony after testimony after testimony of God showing people this in their dreams, visions, all kinds of things. A lot of us have been shown that this is a reality that's going to happen sometime in our lifetime. Aside from the predictive programming they have given us, God has even warned so many of us. And if you get a chance to just go skim through a lot of those testimonies, it's just really eye-opening. And, you know, for people like me, it's very helpful because then I feel like I'm not the only one out there who has been shown this and understands it. I just thought I'd throw that out there because there are some amazing testimonies out there on the same page over and over and over again.
Yep. This is joking I could hear. This is from the, I don't even like saying the name of the medical organization. It starts with a John and ends with a Hopper Kin. And they were the same ones that put out Event 201. And then 2 or 3 months later, Bammo Whammo. Now they're saying the 2025, there's that date again, to 2028, which means virtually the entire Mr. T presidency. And it's another tabletop exercise. And if you come down to it, I found the names of their chapters, you might say, very interesting. Like chapter 1, the outbreak begins. Number 2, and listen to all of this, and you'll kind of gives you an idea of how they're going to play this, because they told us last time, and that's how they played it. Number 2, a possible cure. Number 3, a potential, and notice they're using possible and potential. A potential V, okay, meaning a snake bite. And it said, chapter 4, users beware. Number 5, going viral. Number 6, the grass is always greener. Number 7, the voice. Number 8, are you talking to me? Number 9, changing horses midstream. Number 10, head of the line privileges. Number 11, standing in line. Protesting online. Number 12, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Number 13, lovers and haters. Number 14, the grass is always greener, part 2. Number 15, are you talking to me? Part 2. Number 16, antibiotics. Oh. Number 17, that the V word and injury. Number 18, acknowledging loss. Number 19, the aftermath. Okay. So, and they've got all this laid out. I'm going to take this and drop it in the chat so all of you can see what their scenario looks like this time around. And of course, you can go to the website, and if you want to, and you can look it up and look. I haven't looked at them, but I'm sure there's videos there and all kind of things like they had last time. Yep, I think you're about right, Mike D. Okay, so let's look at if I can. Let's page 4. It says, let's go down and look at the very beginning, what it's saying. That's page 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is the beginning of that. It says, right? It begins. And here's a pretend news article. 3rd death in a week due to unknown illness in Twin Cities. And this is dated, got a date on there for us. It says October 17th, 2025. So later into 2025, which could be very much a cue right there for you. And Let's see here. It says in mid-October 2025, 3 deaths were reported among members of the First Baptist Church of St. Paul, Minnesota. Interesting, they chose a church, right?
Mhm.
2 of the church members had recently returned from a missionary trip to the Philippines, where they were providing relief to victims of regional floods. The third was a mother of a church member who had also traveled to the Philippines with the church group, but who had only been mildly sick himself. Based on the patient's reported symptoms, healthcare providers initially guessed that they had died from the flu, which health officials predicted would be particularly virulent and widespread this fall, blah, 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 right? And I'm not going to go read through all of that because y'all guys can read and check it out. And I see someone who has given us a gift, so I want to acknowledge that. Gifted 1 membership. Nice. Very nice. I'll have to look into what I'm supposed to do with that. I don't even know. So I think it might be a gift to where I can give it to one of y'all guys. And if that's the case, what I'll do is on the next show, we'll do a raffle. I've done before in the past. You remember, Shannon? And it'll be totally by chance, and we'll give it away to somebody. So thank you, Ellie, for that. I appreciate it. So I was going to read, though, here. They've got some little like tweets or Facebook posts that they're showing here that are fictitious. And it says, I noticed this, they're calling it pound stop spears or SPARS. Just so you understand, if you don't know already, the word SPAR, as a matter of fact, let me see if I've got, and of course it's wanting to hang up, like always. Really? All right, let me see if I can fix it, because I really wanted to show some things off of there. Won't take me but a second if I can. If it'll allow me to fix it. All right, let's see. Is it going to work or not without having to restart the computer? Maybe. Okay. All right. Okay. It's here. Okay. What I did was I looked at, and I don't have them right here, I don't think, where I can show it. No. I looked at all the different languages out there of what the word SPAR, S-P-A-R, or S-P-A-R-S. I looked at all the languages that I could find translations for, and they all were basically saying a spear. That it means a spear, either a spear or a battle, as in to spar, like a sparring match. It's a battle with a spear. And for me, I can't help but remember this, that someone claims they have the tip of the spear in their hand, and that's not the only thing that claims they have the tip of the spear in their hand. I mean, there are many things. You see what ultimately is happening. Let's see, here you go. Here is Mr. T right here in the very front of West Point, I think this was. And he is at the tip of the spear, just like he has in his coat of arms, which in a normal world, that could be a coincidence. But unfortunately, in this world, it's not. you know how, let me give you another example to show you he's in on that. Something else for somebody to deny. Oh, that was small. Let me see if I can get a bigger one. So you notice the hand gesture. Now, there are many leaders around the world, like, well, not just leaders around the world. You'll find this hand gesture being used all over YouTube, and it's Freemasons. Most of the larger, I would say all probably, but I can't say it because I haven't looked at every single one, of course. But I would say they pretty much all do this hand gesture if they're in with the plan, you might say. And what's her name overseas in Germany? The lady that runs Merkel. Yeah, Merkel, she does it, but she does it when she's standing up. Here's just a few days ago when he met with this other evil person over here doing this. Now, I know if you're in love with this man, you're not liking what I'm saying. But you're going to remember what I said. And all along, they're going to try to make it look like he's just trying to save you, just like he did last time. He was the one that brought out Operation Warp Speed, wasn't he?
That's correct.
With the cube, the cube flying through space at warp speed. The cube is the Borg cube, where they take people in the movie, in Star Trek, they would take people and they would assimilate them. And as you can see, it's the cube, like the Borg. And if you look, you'll see the lines going out. And it is called warp speed. You cannot deny that this isn't tied to Star Trek and their fantasy world they're running, right? And you can see that it's flying through space. It's got the little lines like it's warp speed, meaning altering time or flying faster than time, that kind of a thing. And so this is the man who brought that to you. But I'm sure there's someone who can still deny it, isn't there? Of course there is, because my own brothers, even though I do this for over 10 years now, I mean, it's going on like close to 15 now, and they still think I'm an idiot. But it won't be for lack of me telling them, because I've told them. I've told them, I've shown them, and sometimes they'll actually get it, and you can see it in their eyes. And then the next time you see them again, they're glazed over again, because they went back and watched some more of the programming. Why do you think television is called programming? Why do you think it's called television? Why do you think it has channels? I mean, all the words, all the everything, all the truth is right in front of everybody. But somehow it magically gets ignored. So what's in the news when you type in prions? Well, 4 hours ago, third CWD case confirmed in British Columbia. But in this case, they're talking about deer. But just the other day, they were talking about, well, not that article. They were talking about people in Canada as well. And so there's lots of chatter about it, not just in humans, but in the animal population, so that people would be scared to eat the natural food population that is out there for them. You know, and I can hear the words and what they'll be saying already. I can already hear it. It's both a blessing and almost like a curse. But Father, I'm not asking for you to turn me ignorant and turn my eyes away. This is what I have to do, Father, and you know it. All right, let's see here. What do we want to do next? Do you have any thoughts, Shannon? Because I'm looking at something else while I'm listening to you.
You know, again, it's just, again, with the whole television stuff and all of that, we've been indoctrinated for generations now. And it's so normal to watch TV. Everybody goes home like after work or whatever it is they're doing, and they plop down in front of the computer, or they're on their phones, or they're watching television. And a lot, I mean, I'm not any better. I come home and I'll, watch some documentaries, but we have become complacent and thinking that we need entertainment to unwind, but we're in that, is it the beta or alpha wave state when you're watching programming? So it's literally, it's going into that subconscious space in your brain, and it's just very easy to take in everything, even if you're not consciously aware of it. And this type of programming has been happening for a long time. And it's really important, like Celeste Solom had mentioned when we had her on the show, and the new changes that have been voted in with everything, that it's all about misinformation, disinformation. I mean, there were several titles of the type of deception and information that there is out there. It's to confuse you. It's to traumatize your brain. If you can't make sense of it cognitively, it's very easy to fall in line in how they want. So, just be aware. I mean, you guys know. This audience knows. This audience gets it. It's more about teaching those around you subtly how to open their eyes.
Yeah, but there's always the chance of new people being here. So I try to assume that because right now we have a huge audience watching right now. It's in the thousands watching live. Just on one YouTube channel, I can see there's over 300 and something. And I hope so. And I hope y'all guys will share this, because people need to see this information. Here's another thing Casey pointed out, I believe it was today on his show again, about DeepMind. See, this is IBM, their DeepMind, the Cube computer, that what they're studying. And one of the main things they're studying is prions, which is what we're talking about here, aren't we? Yeah. They call it the misfolding of a protein. And this is their little hint that they put out as an image here, which I thought was kind of interesting. And I was going to show you, if we look at this, which is the left side showing that key. You remember what it was that the angel at the bottomless pit had?
The key to unlock the pit.
The bottomless pit. What if the bottomless pit is inside of us? And what if the bottomless pit is more metaphorical than just a hole somewhere, or something's going to come out of like that? What if it can come out of within us? Not most of us, but most of them. But if you look here, and anybody chime in here, including you, Shannon, of course, what you're seeing, okay? Because I'm looking here at this, and there are every little dot is intentional, okay? I mean, we've got this big key, and then there's this lock hole that it is sticking through, and the lock hole, those symbols that are in there, what kind of symbols would you say that is, Shannon?
I'm not quite sure.
Inside the lock hole, the keyhole.
I mean, it seems to be
It almost
their structure.
it looks like a language, or either it almost looks like a constellation kind of thing in the heavens, or either some kind of a language, and it obviously is. Does anybody in the chat know what that is? I'm watching the chat right now. Someone said, well, let's see.
Definitely represents some kind of a star.
This one right in the middle here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it could be a star for sure. These could be constellation type, although that none of them really ring a bell right off, but you've got that kind of stuff. Over here, you've got a couple of other keys, and they're different designed than this key over here. And I can't help but realize that I know I'm correct about the angel when it comes down with the keys. It's a frequency, it's an alteration frequency.
I was just gonna say this whole, like this in the circle part, it looks exactly to me like a depiction of frequency.
Over there, yeah, it is that is a wave, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is a frequency wave. So they're unlocking just what I said, frequency. This is talking about their attempt to unlock the bottomless pit, basically, is what it really looks like. It's got a plus sign over here, kind of like a plus and minus kind of thing. You just have to take in everything, including the colors. Like this kind of looks like the color of the sky where the keyhole is at. The green here has these lines sticking up. So the key is through it. And right where the key goes through it, it turns to this green color. You see it's white like over here maybe, or the lines themselves look like a little bit of heliotrope kind of color. But then as the key passes through the keyhole, it turns to this greenish color. Any thoughts in the comments? I'm trying to watch y'all guys too as well, because I know for a fact that there's a lot of really smart people here. The key to genetic coding.
I was gonna say it does almost seem to like it's a cell, like
Like a cellular kind of thing.
In your body, like a little cell.
Somebody else said, Mike D said, the keyhole looks like a vast bottomless pit. It kind of gives me that a little bit with these lines right here. Kind of gives you a little bit of the pit, or even a little bit of the warp speed. Look how it had these lines. And of course, this is undeniable. This is a waveform right here. And as you can see, this piece of the key right here attaches right into this part of that wave right there. And then it's touching this area and this area. So you would think you wouldn't have to think this deep to figure out what they're up to, but you do. On this side over here, this side is open. There's no line here. But over here, there is a line. All of this means something. It doesn't mean that I know it right off the get-go, but it all means something.
There was a commenter that mentioned too, which I noticed, is those things around the circle look like pills.
Things around the circle.
Medication, like these, they look like pills.
Yeah, that does look like pills, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, from what I get, they're going to act like they've got a solution to the problem and then say, no, that was a mistake. Oh, no, that's killing people. And then they're going to make like they got another solution. Oh, no, that one ain't working. That's going the wrong direction. It's going to be back and forth, back and forth. It's going to be a major mind game from what I can gather on this next run that we're going to have. And we could stop it if enough people seen this video. If you could download this video and somebody could get it out to everybody, or send people here to see it, or put it somewhere where it can be seen. I have limited power, people. And y'all guys are the ones that actually have way more power than me, because you can hit the share button right now and you can share this information to people. They'll know not all of them are going to get it. Not all of them are going to listen. And one or two of them won't be your friends anymore. But what matters more, the truth or a fake friendship? Because if they won't listen to you, they never were your friend to start with. So here we got these other two little keys. Each got different teeth on the keys and has a different design of the head. This is a square head, this is an oval head, and this is an oval enclosed head. It's hard to say what it means, at first glance. I would have to, it can take a while sometimes to really understand. This looks like a path that something's following, coming around, following a path. This is a path coming around, going, it's hard to say exactly what they're saying here. So, but I wanted to show it to you, and I also wanted to give Casey credit for a couple of things that additional that he brought to the study today, you might say. Here's an interesting article. I just noticed Alzheimer's can be spread between humans. Okay. And there's so many things we can look into and read, but what we want to know is basically what in general is going on, what's going to happen. And then we want to know how to deal with it. One thing is don't take anything they say, don't take it serious. They're going to put pressure on you, that they're going to try to take your job again, and they might. Assuming we're still here when this goes down, because Father hasn't told me, other than scripture, that I'm going anywhere anytime real soon, or anybody else. So until that time comes, until that time happens, we have to be paying attention, and we have to watch, and we have to study. Somebody said, Charles M. Bennett said that the key to life itself, the God particle. Yeah. And we know they got all these other things that they're up to, like the fake alien invasion. They were already coming out with that, saying they're going to do it, saying they're in Congress talking about going to war with angels, because we know what those really are. We know what those look like. So that way, when we see them in the sky, we know what they are. We don't know if it's a good or bad one, but we know they're there, and we know there were a bunch of them following that comet down. That most everybody here should know what I'm talking about. The angels, but there is a huge crowd here today, so I might just show y'all guys that real quick. Do you remember? Okay, there was Comet Atlas here, month and a half ago or whatever it was. It was naked eye visible in the sky. Do you understand that a comet coming down has its own trajectory, it has its own pace, and that no planets or stars should be following that comet through the sky, okay, as it makes its path down toward the horizon at nighttime? There should be nothing that is pacing it, because it's on its own path, right? Okay. Then why was it photographed and shown that there were numerous bright white orbs? What do you want to call them? Stars? What do you want to call them? Angels? I call them angels because I know what they are. I would say these that we're looking at for sure in this video are of the fallen type. Okay. But what is it that is following this comet? Because it's not planets, because how many planets do we have that we can see that move out of pace with the rest of the stars in the sky, all the constellations, the 88 constellations, and kind of like 88 keys on a piano, 88 frequencies. But what is it that's following this? It can't be planets, because that would mean when you watch this video, you'll see it can't be planets, because there's only so many planets that we know of that we can say, oh, there's Jupiter, that they call it, right? Or
supposedly they're a lot larger than comets, so that would be quite.
Yeah, it'd be hard to decide if there were planets coming down, right? But there was something following the comet, and since there is a lot of people watching today, I'm going to play it real quick. So it's only a minute 44 seconds. So check this out. And the reason why I'm showing you that is just to help you, some of y'all guys that haven't seen it, for one, see it and realize the times that we're in. What we've been seeing, we've seen multiple eclipses across the country that created the basically the alpha and omega signs, the Tav. What's the other one called? The Aleph? Yeah, the Tav and the Aleph. And during the eclipse, it got dark twice. This is a fact. It was proven by so many people that told me they seen it too, because I happen to notice it got dark twice during the eclipse. I'm sure there's people listening right now that know that. And then we have all the heliotrope skies going on. We had a comet coming down with angels following it down.
And lately too, there have been a lot of people who have seen in the moon like a black dot that's opening up like a portal. And people all over the place have been seeing that and posting their videos.
Really?
And seeing the black, things roaming around from it. There's a lot of stuff going on with the moon, and there was the same thing during the eclipse. And I just find that to be quite interesting.
Yeah. And all the knowledge that we were given when we were children, going through school and all this, it was all deception. Yeah, we were taught how to count 1, 2, 3, 4. We were taught how to write a language that we didn't create. We were taught how to speak that language we didn't create. We don't even know what we're saying. Yes, we can communicate and understand each other somewhat, but we don't even understand. Most people don't realize that the Hebrew language was designed based off of, matter of fact, let me see if I can show you that image again real quick. Where was it? Where was that image at? It was designed based off of the energy flow of a torus. I don't have the image right here, but it was designed based off of that. It's like, anyways, it's too deep of a topic to get into, but our language that we speak, we could be speaking spells and attempting, not intentionally, but we could be assisting in the spell casting that's going on. They taught us how to spell, didn't they? They taught us how to spell. They taught us how to speak. They taught us how to do all this. If the Rockefellers who were behind the education system were as evil as we like to think they are, don't you think there was some nefarious teachings going on? I think there were.
I mean, it's even been pointed out that on school buses, they've got pentagrams for the lights. Okay. And that's like, I see it every day. I'm behind a bus going,
Yep.
wow. Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if I happen to see.
spelling and writing, all of those things, those etymologically speaking, fall into the whole spell casting stuff.
Let's say in the last week, moon black spot. I'll have to do some more digging and looking at that. Looks like
there's been quite a few videos just as of recently, but I mean, even last year around this time, there were some really weird anomalies with the moon, and that was before the eclipse. And so it's just becoming more and more prevalent. Like, I want to go outside every night and just stare at the moon for a little while just to see what's going to happen.
As soon as which we're going to end the show here pretty quickly, and as soon as I do that, I'm going outside to watch the skies.
Oh, yeah,
I can't help myself. There's so much going on up there, and I'm seeing angels so much. Okay, let me explain for those of you that don't understand what an angel is. And you have to understand that I've had experience with them many ways, many times. I've explained many times. But my experiences are up close to 200 different angels, and experiences probably about 75 going on 80 now, somewhere in there, individual different times that these events have happened. They're bright white, they're round, they're like a ball or a big beach ball in the sky, and they'll come cruising across the sky sometimes and just vanish and disappear. They're not blinking, although when they first appear, there's a spark right before they appear, so you look for sparks, that you see sparks in the sky. They may be around, but they'll appear and they'll cruise through the sky. Or either they'll be sitting dead still, and then all of a sudden they'll just go whoop, just disappear. And then sometimes when one disappears, another one will show up. Sometimes they'll streak across the sky. When they do, they'll leave a little light trail behind them. I personally seen that close up, and it's like sparks or pixie dust, like electricity. I had one that I was standing at the beach looking for angels one night. That flew over my head, about 20 foot above my head, maybe 25, somewhere in there. And as it shot across, I seen it and looked like pixie dust, kind of like from Tinkerbell from Walt Disney, pixie dust floating down. And it went away quickly, but it was there. I seen it. And I seen one cast a lightning bolt. I didn't see his arm throw it, but I seen him appear in the water in front of me, probably 30 yards in front of me, right over the edge of the ocean. It appeared, and then that started to fade. And right as it did, a lightning bolt struck the ocean from it. And I've seen them flash. So I'm telling you all these things, so if you see these things, you'll know what you're looking at. You're not looking at aliens, guys. There is no such thing. Everything that is and was is here. And everything that will be is from here. Now, there's two different, well, maybe multiple levels of where here is. There's our realm, and then there are other realms. The supernatural realm is the spiritual realm, which is invisible. That's why I tell you, when you're going to fight something that's supernatural or spiritual, you use an invisible weapon to fight it, which is your voice. This is why God calls our tongues a sword. And you stand on the truth, and you speak boldly and cast it away, rebuke it, bind it, and cast it into dry places. You know, even words that people say to you, if somebody's attacking you, you tell them, you break those words, you rebuke them, you bind them in their words, and you cast them into dry places. You do that with somebody with boldness, not anger, boldness. All right. Well, guys, I hope you appreciate this information. I know you don't like it, because I don't like it. But this is my job, and it's not an easy job. I hope that some of you guys will consider continuing to contribute to this work, because the more I tell you guys about these things, the more people draw back and say, I better scratch every nickel I can and keep it for myself. And yes, you should. But I'm being kind of left to hang out to dry for the most part recently, because people know finances aren't good. There's bad things coming. All of us in this circle know it. But I ask that y'all guys continue to support my work, even if it's with just $1 $1 tells me somebody cares. And I have to update the extra for the show because those says all recent donations, but all of those are gone. There's only been a few donations in the last 45 to 60 days. It's literally less than a dozen. But I do appreciate that. I appreciate all of it. I appreciate y'all guys. This ain't got nothing to do about money for me other than the fact that I have to have something to survive. And it takes all of my life in order to do this work. So there you have it. Links to all my stuff are below. You can help just by becoming a member of the YouTube channel or whatever you want to do. I have Patreon. I have all kinds of things. That being said, we're going to be back again on Monday. We'll see where the Spirit takes us for that show. I'm sure it'll be evident pretty quick. We did 3 shows this week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you missed those shows, I would highly recommend going back and seeing them. Go back and see the Monday one first, and then see the Wednesday one is what I would recommend for all y'all new guys that are here, because there is a crowd here today. And I'm asking that y'all guys please share this. If you're not in a position to help in any other way, you can still help by sharing it and getting the information to more people. Okay? Shannon, any final thoughts, Carlin?
Just if anyone out there really has been struggling with things and haven't, really taken Jesus into your heart, I pray for you now, and I pray that you open up your heart to Jesus and not to be scared of what's coming, but have peace in your heart to know that Jesus may be coming back with a sword, with vengeance. Well, I wouldn't say vengeance, with just cause to
just
wipe away what the evil of this world. But if you are with him, if you have him in your heart and you listen to the Holy Spirit and you just keep your focus on him, you're going to be okay. So I just wanted to say that. Dan is not here to, do the prayer call, and I'm not as awesome of a prayer warrior as he is, but I just wanted to have that altar call for anybody who wants to give their heart to Jesus who hasn't. So that being said, I love you all, and we'll all be partying together in heaven someday.
Someone said, Hoop Dream said the lock hole is the symbol of tenet. I'm gonna Google that real quick. Let me find one of my Google pages here. If I see anything interesting, guys, I'll bring it up on the screen. Let me pull up tenet. The symbol of tenet was similar to the tenet with both a sun and a crescent moon above the head may represent Baal, Hammond, as well as tenet. I see some videos here. Let me look at the images. Well, I'll show this real quick. Sorry for the somewhat provocative images there. The symbol of tenet, and that was the lock. And I don't know if I can still bring that up or not. Let me see.
Phoenician goddess.
Yeah, it's the lock itself, the keyhole. Okay. Yeah, I do see that.
So it's really based off of ritual.
See how this looks kind of like a keyhole, Shannon?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Wow. See, that's the power of, this is tied to Baal worship.
Mm-hmm.
Here's another image here. See, there you have it right there.
I'm guessing that's probably where the term tantric came from, or things along those lines.
Probably. Okay.
If it's a goddess and it's a keyhole, it just kind of makes sense. It's going on that ritual sex magic stuff.
Yep. Yep. I'm looking at some of these images. Y'all guys can't see it. It's off on another monitor, and I can't get it to pull it up again. But that image of the key, most of these symbols are on there, either small or large, but most of these symbols are on there. Very interesting. I will be looking into that more. So I thank you, Hoop Dreams, for letting me know about that. And I wanted to say something too, guys. You see, belief in Christ and belief in God is not a religion.
No.
A religion is a man-made construct with its own set of rules.
Yeah.
Okay. When it comes to God's rules, things are very simple. One of the main ones is love your neighbor as you love yourself, you know, and always be willing to serve other people as well as they serve you and help you. You know, God's rules are very straightforward, but when you get into religion, that's where you start running into problems. See, I'm not religious. I gave up religion a long time ago because all I could see were hypocrites, because even then I had eyes to be able to see that. And all I could see was hypocrites. And I couldn't stand it. I couldn't deal with it. So I said, I'm done with religion. And then I started seeking truth. And when I started seeking truth, I found God.
Mm-hmm.
So
Ray Legion, etymologically speaking, Ray is the sun god. Legion is legion of demons. Ray Legion.
Yep, indeed. All right, guys. Well, I love the fact that there's a huge crowd today. I hope y'all guys are subscribed. I hope you'll come back again on Monday. We always typically do shows unless something goes wrong or if I just ain't feeling it or I'm not ready. We typically always do shows on Monday, at least Monday, around 3 o'clock. But I got a feeling that we're going to be doing more shows, meaning Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And depending on what's going on, I may pop up at any moment with a live. And I'm sure that those kind of lives are coming. But for now, I'm just kind of giving you the general schedule because there are a lot of people watching today. So with that, we're going to get out of here, guys. Still going to use the short extra for today. I'll try to get the other one updated for next week. Don't forget to support others out there as well. I'm not the only one that's speaking the truth. You have people like Casey and others out there that are speaking the truth and have a nice size audience and are trying to lead them in the right direction. So it's not just about me, guys. I love you. Check out all the links below. Share the video. Love your neighbor, but keep your eyes open. And we'll talk to you next time. About Monday, if not sooner, here on The Supernatural Show. Bye for now, guys.
Bye.